All right, folks, welcome to the final match. 3 days, 2 teams, but only one winner. The 2024 Australian Ultimate Championships here at Shepparton in Victoria. It's the Wollongong Surge versus Ellipsis Pilcrow. Pilcrow having had a fantastic performance in their semi-final match. We saw earlier Brown to Mullen, a special guest who joined us in the booth. Batista, whose forehands have done Ellipsis Pilcrow a fantastic job scoring. But right now, despite our gentle giant cameraman Mike Palmer being the target of an unfortunate disc-based assassination, it's going to be a turnover and it's going to give Wollongong Surge an opportunity to push back the other way. We're seeing a call for a stack to be formed in the middle of the field. For those watching at home, my name is Blair Munro, and what a pleasure it is to be with the ulti.TV crew here with the proud support of the Australian Flying Disc Association. Mandy Lee, big fakes early on. Manages to hit the upline with no issues. Maya Osband, one of the Surge newbies, but one who's been doing such a fantastic job for the team this weekend. So much collision in the downfield space, but the reset comes away anyway. Hedich engaging center field. The shimmy shake to get around, finding Mandy Lee. Simpson for the Surge, right on the doorstep, forcing it through, and Nicholson for Pilcrow is going to get the block. Puts the high shot up. Liana Edwards once again doing the most. Pushing towards the near sideline. Working with Mullen. Marked by Hedich, comes up and around. Finds Brown, puts the cannon up. Lee tries to get underneath it. Doesn't need to. Liana Edwards thrown by the aggressive defensive pressure. It's going to be enough to generate a turn. Surge to come back from the left-hand side of your screen. Playing out of the dark kit. Mandy Lee to pick up. Hedich on the near sideline. Making those looping cuts, trying to get something to open up. Shot through, he's going to find turf and give the disc back to Pilcrow. Puts the shot up. Mandy Lee's going to get a touch. And it's going to fade away towards the right-hand side of the field, the far-hand sideline. As opposed to the close-hand sideline. Surge on offense. One hand goes up with Simpson, but it's not going to be enough. Brown throws wide, but there's going to be contact on the play, so we're going to see a call. Hedich and Simpson both very close to the disc there. Quite crowded for Kelly Brown. But Liana Edwards going to get the disc on the continuation. And that is going to put Pilcrow on the board, one up over the Wollongong Surge. Pilcrow to come out on defense now. Pilcrow with the disc. Chatterton to pull. Letting it rip. Got a bit of outside edge. It's going to touch down. Not a lot of roll. Surge have an opportunity here. But Katie Locke, so tight on defense, forces the lateral reset. Boehner getting involved, finds Coleman. Back to Boehner. Mulcher aggressive, nearly getting a take on that one. Huang, far sideline, up and over. But it looks like there was a stoppage called. So a pick has been called. And a turnover. So we are going to see Pilcrow with the disc. It's Mulcher. Katie Locke on a great undercut, losing her hat in the process. But it's worth it if she can advance the disc for the Pilcrow. Chatterton with a one-handed grab towards the far sideline. Angarita on the knees with a slide. It's not going to be enough. Surge hoping to tie the game here. Coleman to pick up and initiate. Oh! What a shake free. Decides to push the far sideline instead. Nguyen comes back around to Coleman. Big fakes having to stretch wide. Boehner. Ruby. Coleman for the close. Monique Gomez with the score. That's going to put Surge on the board. It's 1-1. This is what a final is supposed to look like, folks. Trading until the very last. Every break will be hard fought. Every gap will be exploited. And you are here with us at Shepparton Sports City in Victoria to see it all unfold. Now, I'm about to be joined by a very, very special guest. My favorite, your favorite, everybody's favorite, Robin Wild. Say hello.
Hello, hello. It's nice to join you this fine afternoon.
Now, we aren't seeing you on the field. We are seeing my delightful elephant Valjean over here.
Hello.
Says hello. Now, we are not seeing you on the field because despite a great effort in your stream semi-final match against Ellipsis Pilcrow, Zag Theory just weren't able to pull it away.
They took it away at the beginning, and we just couldn't catch them up.
Now you had a fantastic performance in the game. I do want to highlight. I think there were at least you were involved in at least three goals, which is a fantastic performance.
Yes.
Now that means that you've got a lot of first-hand experience from facing against Pilcrow.
I definitely
How do you feel about this final?
I think it's going to be really close. I've played both of these teams now, and both of them are just all class. What I'm really pleased and proud about is the inclusivity of Pilcrow. That was a great D.
Huge block by Anika Simpson. Now,
I think their average age is 35. They are
Pilcrow.
Pilcrow. They are an amazing Masters team.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that running. Unbelievable.
Just the technical precision as well.
Years of experience.
Sarah Davis with the block for Pilcrow.
Yep.
Now, Robin, here's the real question.
Yes.
Do you want the Surge to win to avenge your defeat in the semi-finals, or do you want Pilcrow to win to know that you've only lost to champions?
I think that I would like Pilcrow to win to know that I lost to champions.
Oh, the huge Mac! Oh!
That was amazing. Unreal, what a grab.
Big high blading shot's going to be good for Longley. Pilcrow to take the lead yet again. We are 2-1 with a great outside in forehand, finding an open Annie Longley in the end zone. She's there a lot.
She is. They've got such depth on Pilcrow, but then playing against Surge, they are a great team too. So much depth, so much talent. To be honest with you, I'm feeling quite unbiased. I would like either of these teams to win.
And honestly, that's all we care about here in the booth. We cheer for the teams playing offense and we cheer for the teams playing defense, and that's about it.
Sounds good to me.
And just fantastic work. Unsurprising that it was Batissa who put that shot up. Her forehand has just been amazing all tournament.
Absolutely. The weight and precision on that is no mean feat.
I couldn't do it, which is why you know, those who can do, those who can't teach, and those who can't do either do commentary.
But you do it so well.
I appreciate that. But the thing that I appreciate most of all is having you in here to talk through what is going to be a fantastic final in the women's division.
Absolutely. So on Pilcrow, the people to watch. This thrower,
Oakley Mullen has been just amazing on defense for them.
Defense and offense, she can do it all. She's also tall, which helps.
And it's the one thing you can't teach.
Exactly. Look at that. Look at that, finding the holes.
Colin to Nguyen. Goes back to Ruby. They're working with the disc.
Yep. It's like a loose zone, but they're getting it over the top.
Oh, it's a hard shot to reel in. Coming in directly over the top as it fades. It's going to give Pilcrow an opportunity.
Looking forward to a close and exciting game from these two.
Absolutely, but it might be a little bit less close if Mullen has her way. Finds Edwards. Goes through to Nicholson. Back to Mullen. High backhand for Edwards and the score. I mean, in much the same way, I mean, you look at players like Annie Longley, look at Liana Edwards. They just do such a fantastic job of getting separation in the end zone when it counts.
Absolutely. Faking that player out, moving in the opposite direction, tricking them into going with you, and then coming back hard.
And we're going to get the chance to see that again. Quick reset to Mullen. The defense a little bit out of position. I think Surge maybe gave something up on that. The two-hander defenders really crowded around that early pass. So where we see Nicholson with the disc now, we see both of the defenders unsure whether or not a switch was occurring, which opened up that wide backhand channel for Mullen to put out a great shot for Edwards. Pilcrow to come out on defense. We have a game to 15. It's going to be Sarah Davis with the disc, I believe, to pull.
Another exciting point coming up. Let's see this Pilcrow defense come down.
Lee, Hiddich, Simpson, some really, really strong players on this Surge line. Comes wide, finds
nice
Hiddich. Marked by Katie Locke. Just a little bit of contact there on the disc, but it's quickly resolved, which is what we like to see. Finds Lee on the under reset, puts a big backhand up, looking for Simpson. Comes in just a little bit too low.
It's a great look.
It is a great look. I think there's just a couple of little execution tweaks that maybe need to be made. Pilcrow aren't forcing these errors at the moment. They're capitalizing on them, but they're not forcing them.
Absolutely.
Smith with a line drive to Locke. Continuing to force the line. Beresford can't connect.
The tough spot at this point in the tournament is everybody is tired. And usually the team that gets up is the one that can just keep their head, keep running, even though it really hurts.
And like we said in the open final, I was talking to Oakley Mullen, who came and did a spot of commentary for us, which was fantastic to have her there. There's nothing after this. There's no other games to play. This is the end of the season for these teams. If they have energy left at the end of the game, there's not really an excuse.
No, I don't think they will, but look at them all. They're running hard. They're cutting hard.
Absolutely.
Oh, what a grab.
Osmond to Ferguson. Finds Lee. Hedich stretching the field.
Oh.
She's going to be underneath it. It's fading. It's fading. Osmond gets a hand to it, but it's not going to be enough. And a foul called, looks like on the throw.
Oh.
I think a reasonable call, even just to have the discussion.
Yeah. Are we allowed to have opinions?
We're allowed to have opinions. We're even allowed to express them.
Oh, fantastic news. I have those in spades.
Wonderful. Oh, that's a good touch from Locke. Although Tapuia not super happy with that.
No. Looked pretty clean for me, but it was fast, so who knows?
Yeah, I think the rule with opinions, Robin, is they're kind of like buttholes. Everyone's got them, but you've got to ask before you share them with somebody. Lee's going to put a big shot up, looking for Osmond. Davis gets underneath it.
Good positioning there in the end zone. Knew exactly where the disc was going and was there ready for it.
Finds Keeley. Marked by Simpson. Simpson, nice and aggressive, using the long arms. It goes over the top. Hedich has eaten it up. But where's the support? She's looking. The stall count getting put in place. Quick recenter to Mandy Lee to close out for Simpson.
Oh, no.
Not going to be the way today. Sarah Davis to pick up an initiate.
You got to pull your head out when that happens. Get your heads back up. Get your arms in the air. Helps with the endorphins.
Mandy Lee with the foot flash. Doesn't stop the hawk. Looking for Angarita.
Oh, is it going to come back? Oh.
Not enough edge on that one. Heartbreak.
Keep working, Pilcrow. This one's yours. Get it back. Heads up, Serge.
So the disc is going to come back in where it first crossed the boundary of the playing field. Surge to fire back. Lee, who's done a lot of the offensive handling.
They've set quite a deep stack.
Wonder whether or not they're already looking to have an isolation. Pulling to the near side. Hedich. It's going to be a pretty safe bet.
Great grab.
Finds Lee,
nice
but a pick
grab.
has been called. Which might explain Lee's phenomenal separation on the near sideline. No discredit to her fitness or athleticism.
Absolutely not.
But I think in a finals match, that much separation is indicative of something else happening on the field. Much cleaner this time. And a leading shot through to Osmond.
That was great timing on those two cuts.
Amazing timing on those two cuts. And that is going to bring Wollongong Surge back within one, sorry.
This is a great game to watch.
I think what you do with Debbie.
Is that my whispering button?
Yeah, that's Wollongong surge to come out on defense.
They've got a great defense. I played against it.
How did you do against it?
We did lots of little passes to get past them.
Right.
And then once we got past, we could put it down the field more. But it was difficult.
It absolutely would be. I mean, we've seen some phenomenal defensive powerhouses. The disc turns over a little early. It's going to roll. Not a huge amount, but just enough to give the defense time to apply pressure to the first pass. We've got Pankhurst first up against Mullen to try and stop anything happening. Marshall running it deep. Or you could just do that, I guess.
Absolutely.
Fantastic work by Pilcrow to widen the gap yet again.
Great to get that score on the scoreboard. It was a lovely throw.
It absolutely.
Beautifully weighted.
And just, I mean, the way that it started, it led out in front of Coleman and then just started to slow down.
As she ran onto it.
Exactly, as Marshall put the last bit of gas into that run.
If it was any less, that D would have been down.
Could not agree more. And now we're going to see what Pilcrow look to do on defense. Mixing up the lines a bit for Wollongong surge. There's a couple of really, really solid core players on each line who do a lot of the sort of on-field direction. It isn't necessarily a testament to the skill of the individual players, but just that intangible, the leadership aspect of things.
Yep.
So necessary to have to keep everyone focused and on the same page.
Absolutely.
Mullen with the pull. Keeping it low with a little bit of skim. It's going to be picked up by Lee early. Ruby to Pankhurst. Back to Ruby. Comes wide to Lee. It's a three-person game at the moment. Not a lot developing in the downfield until.
That was a nice shot through the middle.
We see Nguyen and Boehner now getting involved.
There's some great match D happening. Everyone's scrambling. Keep on that player.
Liana Edwards to the
someone
surprise
send
of
it.
no one.
Too slow to pick it up. That would have been wonderful.
That is the heartbreaking thing when you've got a really aggressive defender who loves to cut deep and they've got the throwers to back it up. Skillett tries to get it to Batista.
Let's see that D again.
Lee and Ruby. Ruby clearing out. It's Boehner, far sideline. Can she recenter it? A pick has been called.
That would explain why there was a player so open and under. Have you spoken to our lovely watchers about under and deep?
Perhaps not in as much detail as we could. Now, Robin, you're a much more experienced player than I am. You've been playing, you've got an impressive career pedigree.
I started playing in 2000, so if you mean long, that's what it is.
I meant rich and developed. But so when we talk about under and deep, for those folks watching at home who may not be familiar, when we talk about the under space, we're looking at the area between or closer to the handler set than the end zone.
Yep, and then the deep is the longer cut towards the end zone. So that's the under space, and she's looking for the deep space. And
she's going to fire it, looking for Edwards.
Oh, what a grab.
Oh.
Beautiful throw.
Lee just
She's got someone behind. It's good to do. Little dishy at the end zone. That means a small pass, and then you go and catch the goal.
That's going to do it.
Textbook.
Well done by Edwards.
Absolutely great to have the patience and control of your adrenaline to be able to make that little pass instead of trying to get it in the end zone.
We talked a little bit yesterday about end zone fever.
Yes, we did.
And yeah, it's just when you're in the point where you think one pass is all it's going to take to finish it off, it's so hard to do anything but that one pass that you've envisioned.
Yes. Yep. Turning around is counterintuitive.
In fact, I think the people who perform the best at the end zone are relatively either inexperienced players or possibly people who are just lifetime cutters.
Yes.
People
yes.
who have conditioned themselves throughout a long career of running deep, getting the disc, and immediately turning back around to reset to a handler.
Absolutely. And then usually you get to score, like happened in this case. And that's much more glory.
Yeah, people very rarely celebrate the throws. I think we like to do a good job of it here in the ulti.TV booth.
You do a great job of it.
But the score has gone 5-2, so that's a significant margin now for the Pilcrow. That means we're going to see a timeout being taken by the Surge, hoping to stop Pilcrow's momentum. We'll have a talk about what adjustments they might make and how that's going to manifest after we take a short break.
He's in a great spot. He's in a great spot. Now. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finney, he's done it.
Now, as we come back to the most exciting match of the entire tournament, the women's final for the Division II Australian Ultimate Championships 2024. We've actually had the magical, the mythical, the man himself, Finney, join us in the booth. Now, he walked up a little bit earlier, having missed our Opens final with a cast on his hand following some interesting physical play during some of yesterday's games. He's gone from ice to plaster.
Oh, dear. That's never a good sign.
It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. But the only peril there is that if he's relegated to the sideline, then he runs the risk of blocking our shots again and again and again.
Finney.
Don't be like Finney. Stay out of the hospital.
I have to say, in our previously streamed game, I do remember hearing, Robin, get out of the way. So I think I might have like a Finney tendency.
There are worse things to happen. We are going to see Pilcrow come out on defense now. 27 minutes, nearly 28 minutes into our 80-minute cap. The score is 5-2. We've got a race to 15. Halftime is going to be once the first team reaches a score of 8 points.
Definitely just felt a little bit of a breeze coming through then, which will affect the throw. So hopefully everyone will be adjusting their spin to allow for that. It's a crosswind breeze. I wouldn't say it's even close to wind, but it could affect a throw once it's in the air.
Now, Robin, what kind of direction are we talking with that cross breeze?
From sideline to sideline instead of an up-down wind, which is end zone to end zone wind.
Perfect. Now, so in our case, it's coming from behind us here at the booth, pushing towards the far sideline near the top of your screen.
Right.
So that's going to add an extra dimension to the play.
Absolutely.
And as we're seeing Pilcrow push the disc towards that far sideline on defense, that's actually helped by the direction of the wind. What that means is when Surge want to get the disc off the sideline to Osmond, as they've just done.
Oh, she's fast, but she's not a superhero.
And I think that was an example as well of the wind. Once they got it off to Maya Osmond, she put it out flat, but the wind pushing lifted the outside edge of the disc and caused it to peel away from Coleman's great cut into the deep space.
Absolutely. And that's something that you learn when you play a lot intuitively. As you're throwing, you feel the wind and you adjust for that. She was trying to get around someone, which makes that an even more difficult throw.
I mean, one of the benefits of being from New Zealand is that Wellington's known as one of the windiest airports in the Southern Hemisphere. It's an incredibly windy city, and so players from Wellington and New Zealand, they get a lot of practice in wind. So it can be great to see them in these kind of conditions, just how easy they make it look.
I have personal experience with that. I played in Auckland for 2 years, a team called Vixens. We won the national championships one year, which was very exciting. But every time there was wind and we were playing Wellington, it was like, oh. In Auckland is not a not windy city, but it's just no match for Wellington.
That's exactly it. I mean, if it's windy, you want a Wellington player. If it's wet, you want a Waikato player. What a take.
I know, that was amazing. It really thought the defender had that, and she snatched it out of the air. It's beautiful.
No way.
They needed that surge. Pump them up.
Surge back within 2. We're going to see that again. Huge put. Last minute change of direction. I mean, the defender was better positioned, but Hedich made that adjustment, cut back across. So, Surge back within 2. Pilcrow up 5-3 over the Woolies.
So speaking of age inclusivity on Pilcrow, there are 2 players on their team we found out that are over 50.
Is that what's brought the average age up to 35?
No, they're actually mostly Masters players, but that definitely helps. I think they have 1 in their 20s. But these 2 ladies fill me with hope for being able to play for the next 10 years because I am well and truly in my 40s. So the fact that people are coming out and playing this sport.
I think the fact that it's a
Brilliant.
non-contact sport definitely helps.
Although the change of direction on your knees is not great, I can tell you.
But I do think in addition to that, the fact that we're forced to talk to each other and at least make an effort at being nice.
Absolutely.
Evil ages you, and so Ultimate may very well be the fountain of youth.
Oh my God, we've just discovered it.
Davis with the disc working with Brown to chip through the centre field.
Also, you will never guess who it is on this field that's over 50 because they're so amazing.
Every single one of them looks the exact age they want to look. I will say no more about it.
I mean the legs, the running the legs, not the looks. Good cover. That is some hard fought D.
Boehner to Coleman. Puts the big shot up. Open for Pankhurst. She's got it.
Amazing.
Surge within 1.
That is the run that they were looking for. Couple in a row, gets your spirits up.
It has. It's been 2 unanswered points from Surge so far. That's what you want in a final. If a team gets a lot of momentum, you want to see their opposition being a team, a unit, a group who can come together, who can figure out what changes they need to make and put those in place to see that momentum swing back in the other direction.
What's exciting here is that Pilcrow has a real depth of experience to be able to set themselves on the line and not get phased by a bit of a run, but we'll see what happens in the next point.
Such a good put by Coleman. It's what she does. Pankhurst, so quick, so explosive, especially once she gets up to that top speed. She's just gone, had a lot of separation, ran that one down like it was nothing. Lee with the disc for the pull. Now a little bit of a change. I think this might be the first line we've actually seen Mandy Lee and Gemma Coleman, both those strong leaders I was talking about earlier, on the same line. Davis to Gillett. Back to Davis. Puts the spin move on. It's a little high. Oh, it's going to be out. Just a little bit floaty on the reset to Batista.
That is definitely the wind having an effect on that throw. Gives it a bit more float, a bit more lift when you're throwing into it.
Coleman to pick up and bring the disc in right in front of our cameraman Mike. An upline attack by Mandy Lee with a quick continuation. Maya Osmond, number 10 for the Wollongong Surge to tie the game. It is 5-5. Both teams racing to 8. We are going to see a timeout called. This time by the Pilcrow, having given up 3 on the bounce.
They'll be looking to gather their thoughts, set themselves.
And we will see very shortly whether or not they're able to. We'll be back pretty soon.
Beautiful.
After a short break.
Awesome.
Just a phenomenal take there by Osmond. Coleman waiting, engaging Lee.
Really good fake. Got a defender offside.
Just a fantastic leading
timing.
pass, and then the throw with momentum. Davis on a great pursuit. But we're going to take a short break and see what happens for the conclusion of the first half very soon.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ulti.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
And so we are back. Pilcrow to break the huddle. Surge also. 7 on each line. After a great score by Surge, it's going to be Pilcrow on offense yet again. Absolutely. Mulcher, Edwards, Longley, Mullen, Brown. Some great, absolute workhorses on this Pilcrow line. No attack on the pull. And so the defense have an opportunity to start moving. Prasad on the mark now. Threads through. Batista gets it. Big backhand looking for Danielle Marshall. And that's, I mean, that's what you want. You want an emphatic stamp of ownership, of determination on a point like that. After those 3 on the bounce to bring Surge back to a tied game, they took a timeout. And Pilcrow clearly said, we need to do something to step it up. We need to get this next point emphatically. And they've just gone and done it. And behind as well. She had to put on the brakes. So Pilcrow now up by 1. Still anybody's game. Racing to 8 to see who takes the first half.
Oh. Great to see so many kids out on the sideline. Excellent that there's so many people bringing kids. It's a community. It's awesome to see.
One of the things that I love the most is when we see a lot of investment in the youth development of Ultimate, particularly Division IIs, where you start to see small groups of people who have come up through the secondary school system and they're gelling together. They're creative with the disc, they're creative with their cuts and with their teammates.
Absolutely.
And just watching how that the edge of that sword just gets sharpened against the whetstone of experienced opponents is a fantastic thing.
Definitely. Next generation coming through on the sideline when they're little and then in the game when they're older.
Eaten by Smith as Pankhurst looks away.
Nikki Smith.
Batista looking for Marshall again. It's going to be overthrown.
Too long.
A heartbreak there. Pilcrow would have loved the opportunity to capitalize on that poach block by Nicholas Smith. Coleman's going to get that one. No worries. Puts the backhand up. Gillett's underneath it. So Smith again. Gillett's got it.
Decisively.
Marshall on the on the other end of the throw this time.
Oh,
Batista
grab.
not going to let that happen a second time. Puts the forehand up. Nice little inside shot. Finds Katie Locke. Big shot up. But it's going to be stolen by Hidditch.
That was a good read on Hidditch.
Huge play there.
That was a miss throw.
Absolutely a
Get
missed throw there.
stuck on your thumb, your hands are a bit slippy. Happens to us all.
Happens to me more often than not. Batista with the disc, a shimmy fake, puts the forehand out.
Oof.
One hand steal by Gillett.
Great grab.
That was pretty. Just snaking the arm around the defender.
Nice long arms.
I think Pankhurst might have been in front of that.
She was. Over the shoulder, but very clean.
That's that earlier poach block. The long shot to Danielle Marshall. Too long.
So close though.
And then Gillett with the perfect read underneath that one.
Great
Immediately
point
going back.
Whoa. Nice read.
So good. And then the unfortunate throwaway just zinged past where Coleman was cutting. Pankhurst cutting
Nice
down
grab.
and across, and the arm just snakes past.
What the hell?
Mullen with the disc for the pull, lets it rip, sends it long. Slow to pick up, it's going to give the defense an opportunity to put the pressure on. Coleman, quick to keep the disc moving.
Oh, nice grab.
Nguyen. Back to Coleman on an around shot, the wide open Prasad
Beautiful.
as the zone slowly
Needs to
closes
keep
the
her
trap.
calm. She's got to keep her calm.
The blade shot up and over, but Annie Longley's going to eat that one for breakfast. Pilcrow on 7. Surge on 5. A point here is going to take us to the halftime. Shot through by Mullen to Longley.
So psychologically, Serge does not want them to take half because that is a tricky position to come back from.
Great attempt by Mullen, not going to be enough. Boehner on the sideline working with Osmond.
Nice
Falling.
vision of the field.
And chips back through to Coleman,
Beautiful.
around to Ruby. Forehand to Prasad. Nguyen can't
hard
get
luck.
a hand to it. Or can't get hands around it.
Got a straight up force. Trying to stop those long throws.
Mulcher has it now, marked by Coleman. 25 greater than
Wow.
24. It's going to slip shot through to Longley.
That is
Losing
a low
yards.
release forehand. So
Trying to
close.
put it too high. That wind's really starting to have an impact.
Oh, hard luck.
Mullen calling for calm.
Everyone's getting tired now. That's a long point to be running for.
Mulcher loses Coleman in the mix. Keeley cutting under, Plunkett cutting under. Longley on the far sideline gets past Nguyen for the disc.
Pressured grab that one.
That same thing. Looks like there's a foul accepted though.
Accepted foul.
So that's going to account for the angle of the disc. We're going to see that again as it comes out. Yeah, it looks like it was interrupted with the release. The hand snapped around and the disc threw itself out at a weird angle. So Nguyen on the mark again, going to give Longley a little bit more room this time. Doesn't want that to happen again. Great run through to stop Chatterton, keeping it in the
Great
Pilcrow
D.
position. That's Lucinda Ruby on the block there.
Oh, good commitment.
Nguyen putting it
Oh,
up.
it's so far. Too far. She's fast, but not that fast.
A little more patience from the Surge. I think, as you mentioned, they don't want to give up the psychological advantage of having Pilcrow take half. But in doing so, are they tripping themselves up, trying to really force things they don't need to?
Absolutely.
Longley cutting deep.
See, need
Goes
some calm
back.
here. Deep breath every throw.
Osmond back to Ruby.
Oh, was that a hand block?
Angarita, Keeley. Looks like there's going to be foul on that reception.
That was a great hand block, though. In my opinion, best thing about Ultimate.
Hand blocks?
No, they're discussing the rules.
Right.
Hand blocks are also awesome.
Hand blocks are up there.
Unless they happen to you, that sucks. But be able to stand against your opponent and discuss what happened, what they thought, what you thought. I'm going to keep that opinion, and I'm going to let them sort it out on the field.
No, it's the thing I always try and do, share my opinion after the call's been resolved.
Yes, good move.
When it's not going to mean anything.
Yes. So it's a contested foul.
So the disc is going to return to the last uncontested possession.
That's the one.
And I think that's one of the benefits about Ultimate as a sport. You kind of have this recognition that if a foul is contested, it's like it never happened.
That's right.
And if it's
That's
if
right.
a foul is accepted, it's like it never happened.
That's right.
There's no sufficiently small incentive or disincentive to fouling apart from the waste of time.
Yep, that is true.
You know, if you spend the entire game fouling your opponents, all you're really doing is annoying your teammates.
Yes.
With the constant
Absolutely.
stoppages. We've all come together to play this sport that we love. Oh, great take by Osmond.
Oh, and there was someone else there. That was a great point.
Prasad leaves it. Somebody knows how to share. I think that's Gomez.
They found their calm in the end zone.
That is going to be Monica Gomez with the score for Surge to bring it back within one.
There's no better feeling than missing a disc in the end zone and realizing your player's catching it behind you.
Surge on defense now.
That breeze is picking up a bit. We'll see what impact that has on the game. I normally play in Adelaide. We were looking for wind all tournament so we could play in it. Didn't get it.
Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah,
Thank you. Kelly Brown with the disc.
Fotopoulos on the mark, and a hand block's gonna do it. It's clean.
That was
that was spicy. See, that's my favorite part of Ultimate. We're gonna see it again.
A little bit of nip. Oh, just enough. Oh.
Mandy Lee to pick up. Tries to find Hedich on a deep cut. Decides instead to come back for Simpson. Mandy Lee closing out. Can she do it?
Yes.
Yes, she can. Fotopoulos with the bookends.
That's amazing.
That is phenomenal.
Great D, and then great O to follow it up.
Just a tidy little hand block, and then being the one to score out the possession to keep it tied. We have Galaxy point, 7-7, double half. The next play, or the next point to be scored is going to determine who comes out on half. Now, it feels like it's been so long, I can't actually remember who started on offense and who started on defense. The key thing is that whoever started the game on offense will start the second half on defense. If the team that started on defense takes half, They're given the disc for free at the start of the second half, and as long as they can generate an offensive hold, they find themselves with a pretty comfortable 2-point lead.
It is definitely an advantage, psychologically and actually.
And the pull goes up from Serge. Pilcrow to field.
This is a pressure point, everyone.
And that's where the pressure comes in.
Wish I didn't say that.
The commentator's curse goes just over the top
Apologies.
of Battister's head. Hedich initiating, for calling for the stack to be structured. 6 players back, looking for an isolation from Coleman. She's going to find it. Not trying to force anything up.
Need calm on this throw.
That's going to be a Surge score. Great crossfield cut into that strike space by Pankhurst to take Surge to 8. Up by 1 over Ellipsis Pilcrow. That's going to be the halftime.
What an exciting game.
This is what a final is supposed to be, folks, and it is the final. The grand final of the women's division in the Australian Ultimate Championships, Division II 2024 here at Shepparton, Victoria. My name is Blair Munro.
And I'm Robin Wild.
And what a pleasure it is to be here with the ulti.TV crew in partnership with the Australian Flying Disc Association to give you such adrenaline-filled action. Stay tuned for more. We'll be back very soon. And we are back, folks, for the exciting second half of the grand final in the women's division at the 24 Australian Ultimate Championships, Division II at Shepparton, Victoria. Wollongong Surge versus Ellipsis Pilcrow. My name is
What a
Bleeman Ryan.
final. Sorry.
No, you're all right. My name is Bleeman Ryan. It's less about us, isn't it, Robin? My name is Bleeman Ryan. I'm here with Robin Wild, a very special guest star in the commentary booth for ulti.TV. Headitch comes down with it.
She's got some great overhead grabs.
We are seeing a Pilcrow zone.
Nice. Up the line throw there. Good decision with the disc. Give it to a handler, in my opinion, is the best decision.
Parker back to Lee. Over top to Headitch with a blade. Big fake to try and get a bite out of the defense. Ferguson pushing wide to Headitch. Been a lot more active in this game than we've seen her throughout the rest of the tournament, which is fantastic. It's nice to see players stepping up in a big way.
Absolutely. They've got some great poppers on Surge, which are people that pop into the zone, and they just give you that little throw, or they make some space for you to make a throw. If that works well in your team, it makes playing against a zone much easier.
Wide to Headitch.
Lovely shot.
Wants to go up at the top, but Leggett shuts down the overhead channel. Ferguson has Lee as a reset option, but Brown's looking to shut that one down. Losing yards in the process to keep possession.
But then you're gaining yards when you get it around across the field, because the zone has to catch up.
Exactly. The disc is always, well, almost always, going to be traveling faster than the players who are running. Fotopoulos now, after a fantastic bookends earlier, getting involved. Lee with the bladey shot up for Headitch and a one-hand take.
Unbelievable.
Like a matador.
Absolutely magnificent. That is going to fire them up.
Oh, goodness. Someone's going to be dreaming about that, and someone's going to be having nightmares.
Someone's going to be watching the ulti.TV replay of that over and over again.
Just that one-handed rip through like a charging bull. Phenomenal. See that again. Fotopoulos came back to Lee, put the shot up. Looking for Headitch. We see the cut developing. She's coming back the other way. Snatched. Oh, my goodness. The layout bid, too. So good.
Absolutely.
But not quite enough. Wollongong Surge now up by 2 over Pilcrow.
What an amazing display of Ultimate at Div 2 Nationals. This is extraordinary. Every year the standard gets higher and higher.
And that's exactly it. I mean, you watch the quality of the Ultimate, not just within the context of, oh, who makes the finals and who doesn't, but just how each team performs and improves throughout the course of the tournament.
Absolutely.
If you aren't a better team at the end of the tournament than you were when you started, something has gone wrong.
Absolutely.
And it's really up to the teams themselves to maintain that culture of growth.
Absolutely.
And both of these teams have. I think it's fantastic.
It absolutely is.
Pankhurst aggressive on a chase. Still able
Great
to
grab.
slip through.
There's a lot riding on this for Pilcrow. They need to make some good decisions.
Gillett puts it up. Edwards underneath. Is she able to close that out?
Nice calm on the disc.
Overhead with 2 hands. Looks back. Finds Smith.
Need to get
Keeley.
that swing off.
And a pick has been called by the defense.
It was a great grab.
Sure was. So we're going to reset things. Players given an opportunity to catch up to where they would have been had the pick not occurred.
It's one of the trickiest rules to understand in Ultimate when you start playing. The reason it's there is to stop people from shepherding, basically. Stopping people from getting where they need to go to defend. So like body blocking, like you would in netball, stopping people from getting into the circle, or in football, like making people physically not be able to run into the space. That's what we're avoiding.
Basketball as well.
Screens in basketball, excellent. So we want to avoid that so that everybody's got a clean shot. Less contact. There's a lot of discussion happening. after watching the replay, that's tough to call. But they will talk it through.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Or
one
it
of, the
will reset.
one of the benefits is it's not our job to call it.
No, thankfully. That would be stressful. I am finding myself very regularly stopping myself from calling up when someone throws a long throw. This is the sideline's job on the field, is to let the downfielders know. Oh, nice handstand, Nikki Smith. Oh, it wasn't on camera. Anyway.
It's one of the hardest habits to break.
It is.
Is calling up. I mean, even at things like trainings, you can be watching people play. They're doing drills, and you're thinking, why is no one calling up? And then you start, and you realise, I'm actually just walking past a park watching another team training.
I've genuinely done that. You see the disc go up, and if the defender doesn't know it's coming up, how are they going to get the D? It's so important, and having that sideline, and you can see on this game that there's both Serge and Pilcrow on both sidelines, and they're in there pacing the sideline, wanting to help and support their team however they can.
This was one of the things that actually Oakley and I talked about in the previous game in the Open final. We talked a lot about same third throws because that's how some of these teams were using their kind of high stall last bailout options. One of the things that makes it really, really hard to track the disc because it's right behind you. So you look over one shoulder, you don't see it. You look over the other shoulder, you don't see it. Having those up calls come as early as possible gives the receiver and also the defenders as much time as possible to find the disc and figure out where it's going to go and get themselves into the best position to attack it. Coleman with a great shot to Huang on the undercut. Far sideline. Pankhurst bailing out of the cut, trying to push into the deep space, keeping head on a swivel, which is great to see. Players being very, very attentive to where the disc is. Looks like that's going to be a turnover. Beresford.
Serge will be coming out wanting that D.
Smith. It's coming out high. Coleman eats it up.
And they want to get this out before the defenders can set.
That's always the ambition. Getting to see a good quick break is a very satisfying thing. Boehner has the disc, cuts around. Finds Coleman with the big shot, looking for Gomez. Oh, the tumble and the fumble.
She ran so hard for that. But they are in a position that is better than if they turned it over with the handlers. So that is a great option. And now they can put the pressure on the D early at the end zone, and Pilcrow have to work the whole way up the field. So even when they don't come off, it's worth a shot.
So it looks like a substitution has been made. We're going to see Gomez leave the field in favour of Hiddich. Batista, Beresford in hot pursuit. Pankhurst too close. Coleman on the upline over Edwards, finds Huang centre field, but can't connect with Ruby.
There was a hand on that, looked like.
Davis blocked by Huang.
Decisive block out the sideline.
Huge block.
That is a satisfying feeling. And again, there's a team right at the end zone from that long throw that needs to work it all the way back up the field.
Hiddich cutting deep. Batista with an emphatic block of her own.
What a point. We've got everything.
It's like I say, every time you have a point go long, it's because the teams are playing good defense.
Got Nikki Smith with the disc.
Finds Beresford.
Great break.
Puts a shot up. It's a little wobbly. Starts to even out into a blade, but can't get it.
So close.
Finds Hiddich near sideline. Smith closing the jaws. Oh,
So
just
close.
past Davis. Ruby resets to Coleman.
Need to get it off that sideline. Swung very well to the middle of the field, giving them a bit of space.
Such snappy fakes from Hiddich. decides to just send it instead. Boehner out of nowhere, keeps it alive. Pankhurst is there.
Woo. Sorry.
Surge go to 10.
So good.
And so, what a point there.
It was a great
Hail
point.
Mary option.
And it came off.
Boehner out of nowhere. Floating through to an open Pankhurst in the end zone. Surge with an opportunity here. We've got about 12 minutes left on the clock before we hit our soft cap. Surge up by 3, 5 points away from a win as we race to 15. Brown to pick up early with Mullen. Parker closing on the defense, but it's going to find Chatterton. Shredding through, finds Marshall, goes back around to Chatterton, getting active with Mullen. Brown available as a near side reset. Slightly overcooked.
Oh, such a
Came
great
in a
effort.
bit high. And these are the kind of mistakes that Surge are hoping to pressure.
Absolutely. And right now, this is what Pilcrow are trying to cause.
Surge with the high flick, finds Osman on a big crossfield shot. Line drive straight through the hands of Parker's going to give it back to Pilcrow. Mullen, little flick of the wrist, it's starting to fade. Eaten up. Marshall's got it. Looks back, finds Mulcher. Nice low release to an open Longley on an undercut.
Easy back throw. Perfect. Easy throws.
Marshall doing a lot of work on this
Trying to
point.
be calm. Oh, is she in yet? Close to the line. Yes.
Jumped in by Brown.
Kelly
Pilcrow.
Brown. That was an important point for Pilcrow.
A necessary point for Pilcrow, particularly as we start to move closer to the end stages of the game. As we hit our 8-minute mark, we'll conclude the point being played. We'll add 1 to the highest score, and then it's a flat race to that number. The closer we get to that soft cap, the further behind Pilcrow are, the harder it's going to be for them to claw back a victory. We're going to see a timeout called here. Surge had a couple. Pilcrow got 1. And now it's about time for the Wollongong Surge to really figure out how to stop Pilcrow staging the comeback that they so desperately need. So they're going to make a few adjustments in the later stages of the game. But we'll be back to see how that manifests after a short break.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ulti.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
And so Pilcrow with the disc now. Surge just waiting for them to clear the line. The 7 players for Ellipsis Pilcrow are ready to go to fire back on defense. Surge offense want a hold here to widen the gap as much as they can before the soft cap approaches. We see the signal for readiness from Lee for Surge. We've got Mulcher with the disc.
And up it goes. It's got a nice float.
Lee to pick up early. Ruby with the disc. Big scoop, can't get around Smith. Finds Boehner again, marked by Longley. It's been such a fantastic defender for the Pilcrow. Ruby and Lee doing some great handler weave work with Boehner.
Oh, great grab.
Yeah, that came out not quite where Mandy Lee wanted it. Huang threading one right through. Puts a big shot up, looking for Lee. Can she get there?
Oh, what a
not
bid.
Not quite. So close.
She gave that everything.
So close, she could almost taste it, but she didn't release her inhibitions.
I believe that's an injury call. I think she hit her head. I hope she's okay. So they'll do a swap out for Surge. You touch the ground to check the disc in, so that makes the play live again after the injury stoppage.
Otherwise, players who move, it does constitute a violation.
That's right.
A little bit of rules, knowledge, and use for the folks at home. Marshall to Gillett. Uncorks, finds Longley, over Boehner. Batista decides to keep it in the jar. Mulcher to Smith, marked by Gomez. Big forehand up, eaten by Marshall. Wanted to put the hammer or some such. Mulcher with a laser shot straight through to Batista for the score. Pilcrow.
Great goal.
Pilcrow back within 1. See again, Smith with the high forehand. Marshall, big hammer fake, decides to go to Mulcher, threading the needle.
Beautiful safe passes into their hands. That was a great offensive play.
And now we're going to see whether or not they can do it again on defense, if they can generate the turn.
Get that break.
Big pull from Mullen. Early work, Osmond to Coleman.
Grab. This is some intense D.
And it's going to do the job.
And it's effective.
Pilcrow need this now to tie the game. Puts the shot up, looking for Angaritza. And she's got it. It's a tied game, folks. That's what a final's supposed to look like.
That is a great couple of points in a row. Well done, Pilcrow, for pulling it out. That's amazing. So I'm going to do a little shout out to some of my old teammates in Melbourne. Big love to Honey. It's been a few years, but nice to know that you're watching. This amazing live stream by ulti.TV for AFDA.
Absolutely, ulti.TV. Bringing you the very best Ultimate here in Australia and around the world. If you like what you see and you want to help us keep bringing you the very best Ultimate in all the world, the best sport, the best superstars, the best people, head on over to patreon.com/ulti.TV and give us your spare change. You're not using it.
It's just sitting in the bottom of your bag.
Besides, cashless societies only really disenfranchise
You're getting
people.
you're getting a bit deep now. You're getting a bit deep.
I can't help it. The only thing that gets me more red-blooded and fired up than anti-capitalism is ultimate.
Just casually mention that you are my people. All right. We've got the disc up, indicating that they are ready to pull.
Is going to be
waiting for the hand from the other side, and there it goes.
Sarah Davis. We are now only a couple of minutes away from the soft cap, which means depending on how this point goes, we're going to be playing to 12 for our finish.
A nice rolling pull.
Lee to Ruby early. Call's been made. Unclear exactly what the nature of the conversation is. I think it may have been related to a pick and then a slight adjustment of players to ensure that subsequent picks will be avoided as in the next initiating play. Beresford on the mark. Ruby with the disc. Great backhand shot, but another pick.
Or as we say Pick City happening right now.
I mean, that's urban congestion for you, isn't it?
It is.
That's what happens when you build out instead of up. I mean, the Dutch really have got it under control, haven't they?
Agreed.
I mean,
Bicycles.
You know, Milan, our European counterpart, and Windmill, the tournament in Europe as well. I mean, really.
Oh, it's gone long. There's a defender there. She has got that all day.
Great work by Marshall to eat that up. Quick recenter to Davis. Back around to Mulcher. Huang gets a bite out. Big foot flashes trying to shut down that throwing window. Finds Beresford. Can't connect to Plunkett.
So
Marshall with a
close.
layout attempt. Boehner over Mulcher as she got the split on that cut. Mulcher committing to the cutting lane as opposed to necessarily targeting the recipient. Huang with the dash, quick recenter through to Osmond. A little bit of body contact there as they stop. Lee aggressive on the up line, shows the shimmy. Comes back to Ruby.
Great cutting. They've got a poach in the middle.
Pankhurst cutting now. Not going to be rewarded. Quick reset to Osmond.
Nice grab.
Huge slide by Nguyen.
Yes.
That's going to do it. Pankhurst again.
Safe hands.
So that is going to be Wollongong surge to 11. I believe our soft cap has gone. We're adding 1 to that. It is a race to 12 until I receive other information.
What an exciting game. Couldn't ask for a better final.
And if we could, I don't know who could possibly deliver over these two fantastic teams who are just leaving everything out, putting everything on display, everything they've worked for throughout the season, every training, every qualifying tournament. Now here at Division II, every game they've played over the last 3 days has all come to this moment.
It has. All those physio fees. All that fitness training. All the ice baths if they're keen.
The ice baths, the resistance bands,
Oh, awful.
all
Foam
the
rollers.
stretching, massage guns.
all been for this moment.
The moment that we get an Ultimate Tournament sponsored by paracetamol, game over.
Ibuprofen.
That's the one, right?
Paracetamol.
Mullen to pick
Get
up,
us
quick
through.
recenter to Bannister. Defense a little bit slow to get into possession. Brown's there, marked by Kate Pankhurst. Goes up over the top, it's eaten by Hidditch.
Oh, run.
You could see Brown slow to close the disappointment gap, the hands over the face in sorrow. She's slow to shift to defense. It might give Surge an opportunity to win it here. Coleman, Hidditch running deep.
Feel the energy. You can feel the energy.
She's got it!
She's got it!
Wollongong Surge
She's
are
got it!
your Women's Division 2024
Amazing
Australian
game.
Ultimate Championships here in Shepparton, Victoria. What a way to finish the match.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Look at that excitement.
Full team rushing the field. A great performance by Pilcrow, but in the end, you just can't stop the surge. 12-10 as a finish. What a joy it has been to be here in Shepparton, Victoria for the last couple of days to provide context and commentary. With my good friend Robin Wild in the booth. Big thanks to Finney. Big thanks to Oakley Mullen as well for joining us, for all the people who have made this work, for the Australian Flying Disc Association for putting on the tournament, for the team at ulti.TV for getting me out here, and for the team at Jetstar who are going to get me home.
They better get you home.
I've got to sign off and quickly rush to the airport. My flight is in about 3 hours.
You have done a mammoth effort this weekend. You're a hero.
Thank you so much
for being here.
My name is Blair Munro. Thank you to those at home. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
ulti.TV